ピカピ、ピカチュウ。
Hey everybody, I'm back to continue this run. Feel that echo. I haven't put any music in. Let me get something real quick. Let's see, what should I listen to today? Oh, talking about some Zelda. Crazy. To listen today. Earlier on, there was nothing but music on my feed, and now it's like a bunch of random stuff. Where is the music? Oh, it's some Pokemon music today. All the way from the beginning. The string, music, we're gonna go with battle music. Alright, let's continue this run. We just got out of Mount Moon. And we defeated the rival who almost cheesed it with the Cubone, which I had nothing for him. It was very tanky. It's super defense scroll, like every other turn defense scroll, and I'm a physical attacker, but my physical attacks are not very good. And I was doing nothing. I had to switch to specials, and they don't do anything because my special attack is dumb. So it was. I almost ran out of moves. And it had slack off, so it kept healing. It was really annoying. Okay. Okay, back. See what it does. Oh. If we had something stronger, I would have easily killed it off. Like that. We would have done that. Oh man. That was pretty quick. I know. That moveset's it in theory the moveset looked nice earlier, but I don't have the special attack stat on to do anything good with them. Okay. The flame? Oh, flame. It does nothing. Flame does nothing. Next one's resisting. So you see, this is what happens. We got extra speed. Add it. Just keep adding it. Gotta keep stabbing it with that. Normally try to confuse it, but look, it barely hits up. I've been hitting most everything. Well, now it does. Perfect. There we go. Yeah, if we had a better move, we would have been lazy into that. I wouldn't have to heal as much. Plus, we don't have heals, as you can see. We had to use one on the Mount Moon, one on the Rock. We even get a lot to begin with. Oh, thank you. Maybe that's what they had, that's why they used it. Usually they try not to do it. Fast. So, let's see what happens. I learned something. Rock El Rayquaza. Perfect. Rayquaza's gonna kill us. Because we can't do anything. Unless I confuse it. Confuse. Come on. Confuse. Confuse me instead. Come on, attack. I'm gonna stop right there. There it goes. Let's see. Aeroblast. Okay, that was physical. Aeroblast would have been nice. Only 5 of them, but that was that loud damage with that. Mega Horn 2? Oh man, we were gonna get some good moves. Nothing good yet. I would have to keep knockoff though, right? Oh no, I think Aeroblast would have been tough. Oh well, that's the end of that run. Hopefully we get another one. That was close. Maybe we're healed? They're just going for it. It wasn't that damage though. Oh no, point on thinking about it. We worked on those moves earlier, you know? It was one of those things like you have to win to earn those moves. So I would always remember that still it's through this video's for a picture. Output and outlet. Punch down. Mega punch down. We tried, I guess. We had an energy drink or something. So tired. I haven't been able to sleep well lately. I'll put one of the fruits out. That's a real nice cold one. Keep going. I haven't seen that for a minute. Wing attack, nice. An eruption, nice. We have a lot of special attacks, just no defenses. That means we're gonna get lasered right now. Laza. Speed. Eruptions the move. Cross choke. Does nothing. Out of fire. Let me go get some more randomizers. File whole thing. Sec. Boom. Back again. I have no problems with that. Later. Yeah, fighting with there's nothing that we could use, really. Let's see. We could pivot easily, we got it. So let's go. We'll see. That's why we're out of there. Nice. Good. Right, got to level. It's also back, so it's back. Good. That's the third. Just approach for being a lot of damage. It never feels like it though. I think when I had left the purge on my last one with Sidewave, and Sidewave seems like I always did more. And that was before using Luster. You know, Luster reduces special defense. That's the only reason I included that before switching back to Sidewave. I can't look at that. Very cool something. Oh, so close. I forgot to heal on. Ocean. Last one. I'm just there for the speed. I don't want to use like that. Tank, special defense. That's all it has. Doesn't raise move, but hopefully there's something better. Man. Hope we get something good. When we move, we have to have good moves to begin with. Doubt it. Defense sucks though. Really want to catch it. We'll recognize something else. It's too late. Yeah. A physical attack thing. So, yeah, see, really, so really. Don't run into something good besides the night, so. That was paralyzed. Final stones to make it look. Resistant to everything. Like super hitting. I'm just gonna go get my energy drink. Oof. Surprise. Also, superpower. That's fire. Are you serious? I have 2 fire moves and superpower does nothing to it. And is the right way. Just gonna drop control on this one. Okay, I didn't have to. One attack kill. That bullet seed. I'm back. Hear my truck. I'm so sleepy. Running. Over Electro on EV for Electro. A little bit little time. I have decent speed, but we'll see how fast they are. Rock blast. Nice, critical. Good, yeah, that's what I want. Get to the threshold. That is still good. I would like to. I'm using this tank. Okay. I did not like the teachers. Really send me the wrong ones. I know where to buy them now. Albertsons. We're super fast and physical attacker. You go. How fast? I'm gonna go check the item. I always not do it, and I always end up regretting it. So let's get the items. Always cut the forest. There we go. Look for later. Background. Almost went for that. Super potion. There's nothing here. At that point, I will use electro. Not good so far. Honestly, I feel like it's gonna be a hard stream today because the drinking ain't doing anything. Just trying to see one more mod. One more. Different one. Yeah, accept. Sorry, thinking about some stuff. All that for iPhone. Like really, and like Provo. That's not a good thing. Wow. I'm gonna like both videos. Like going. Who was on Route 2? Route 1? Myself. Right. Okay. Protector. Good friends. No choice, right? I don't see ourselves winning, but we'll try. We ran the time. Well, GG. Nerds are Tyranitar. Maybe it was the second mon, you know, where I could have leveled up like 2 levels or something. Maybe then. I wish I could have gone longer with the Houndoom. Had a nice like picture and everything for him. Hey, you. You know, I was thinking earlier, like, what Pokemon will you be like? If they tell you what Pokemon you wish you never seen ever, and in my head was Dunsparce, and there he is. There it is. That's Cha. Well, up to current news, they announced again. What's that earlier? Phasmophobia that's coming to consoles. I haven't bought it. I have a VR headset, the Oculus, well, the Meta Quest, and a decent PC. So I played some pretty good VR games, I guess. I never got their main one, the Half-Life one. I don't know. I just have to hesitate on it. Somebody recently that was commenting on one of the threads about it, how they spent $200 on Meta Quest games, then to realize like they weren't good. They came from Index. Index is a VR headset, like the PC one, like it was like the VR headset. It's outdated now, but you know. And I don't really understand the argument. If you're coming from the Index and you have that mentality to play the VR headsets like that, you can't compare the two. Unlike the Meta Quest has built-in, hardware. You don't need, it's a standalone hardware. You don't need to connect it to the PC. The Index is always connected, right? It's wired. I know there's probably a wireless way now, but the Meta does it as well. It is really good. It's up to your PC, obviously, but the option is there. And if you just go and buy a bunch of games it's like buying a bunch of mobile games and saying oh, they're not as good as the console ones. You know what I mean? They try. Some look really good. Some are, but it's more of the fun factor, They're trying to get, I don't know, I feel like the point of this is to get used to that system. You're either into it or you're not. People play some crazy games that are really popular. I know there was a Battle Royale that was really popular. There's the Gorilla Tag. It looks bad, I guess. it's very basic game, like the avatars and stuff. But if you play with your friends, it's really fun. I'm like, you're gorilla just jumping around with this crazy like I forget what the mechanics are. The throwing yourself around and stuff. And people had fun, like a blast with those games. And then a lot of them are also, especially earlier ones, especially early VR games that were in the first meta or on the first quest. They were party games. You know what I mean? It's like when Nintendo releases, how they're gimmicky stuff. They always have a party pack thing. It was like that. It's like their Wii Sports. But they have a whole variety of them, and the popular ones were like the plank one, right? That you gotta show that to everybody. It's funny and interesting as long as you keep it safe, follow the rules. I have kids that are like, they try to be all rough and stuff. It's like, you don't do that, you know what I mean? You're, besides getting hurt and stuff, you have the headsets, expensive. You don't want to break it. You don't want to get somebody to hurt. Like, it's all for fun. Ooh, laugh. Yes, thank you. But yeah, so he was comparing, and they went back and forth, chat. Not many you'd say everything. And I'm like, that's my point of view. I'm like, the index compared to the Quest wired, I don't know, it feels the same. And like, maybe it has a wide view or something. I don't know. The frame rates, there's like 90, I think it's 95 that you could go up to. It's up to your PC, just like with the index. And like, I don't know. And it's like, oh, you sound like somebody that hasn't played an index, to the other person. And it's like, well, it sounds like you haven't connected your Quest to the PC to play games the same way. You're gonna be wired. Plus, it has a wireless feature now, and it says like, oh, you need like $150 router. Well, if you're gaming, you probably have one. I'm like, honestly, if you play games on and you're not having connected to Ethernet, you're gonna have a good router. That's just how it is. A router is something you should probably put a good thought into it. It's gonna be with you for a while, Doesn't mean to jump into any new thing that comes out unless it super benefits you. And with gaming, right now, I think we have a Wi-Fi 6. They're good. They have a little jump with letters, like a 6E, and I don't know, like that. Like if you have one and it's working fine for you, then you're good. Like you don't have to jump to the next one. It'll be probably a while before they do 7 and whatnot. Sorry if I'm ranting, I'm just trying to stay awake. I got a Blissey. It's not that great. And I need to see it level up though, but it needs to survive. It has high defense and special defense that are okay. I'm not sure where all this stats region really going to. I guess it's still defend. Because they were talking about, then he was super on the bandwagon for the Apple one, the Apple headset. And once he brought that up, or them, or whoever, when they brought it up, there's a facepalm moment. You know what I mean? It's like, dude, you're comparing a over 3K headset to a, what is it, $300, $400 one. Even when the Quest 3 comes out, it's gonna be like $400. It's like, you can't compare it, really. Like, that's just like, and Apple's not known for gaming, you know what I mean? Look at their big game announcement. They were bringing the Kojima game over. That's like, how old is that game? Like 3 or 4 years old? And they were all proud of it. It's like You're trying to, what you're trying to do? Need to be Nintendo or something? Catching up with your old games? They're like, oh, look what we got. And I'm like, oh, good for you. I'm like, everybody PC wise should have that game by now, right? If you have a PC in your game, you have that game. The like Epic gave it out a couple times for free. For free. I'm sure you'll be paying full price if you play on the Mac. I'm just saying, I mean, if you're gaming, you don't have a Apple device, really. Like, well, for that purpose, you know what I mean? I know some people have their mentality like if you're this or that, you have to have that, but just BS. They're just trying to be fancy, honestly. Let's see. Let's do this. But I'm kind of hyped. I'm like for the Quest 3. I wish I could have more time to play this one. I wish I had the room for it. I have a couple of decent games for it. That Phasmophobia, whatever. It's one of those games I've been wanting to play. But it's one of those games that is fun with friends. It really is from the looks of it. You know, it's up to 4-player co-op. The one that's coming to console is a cross-platform. So I'm wondering, will it be cross-platform with the Quest 2? Well, it's not made for the Quest originally, so I'm guessing you're playing the Steam version with the Quest connected. So I'm like, I guess that's how you're gonna play it. I wonder why they haven't made it. I know they're bringing it over to the PSVR 2. PSVR 2. So, Heavy Cutter really is my only edible one. Oh wow. Heavy Cutter. This is now critical. Of course, I was born and my attack is half. In green. You're in green earlier? Let's see what the stats was on this one. The HP wasn't that low. It would have been decent. Oh, that Bulbasaur would have been nice too. What's your armor? Critical hit. Oh, no critical hit, so we don't have to worry about that. Flamethrower, we didn't have flamethrower because they lost it with confusion. 1, 2, 3, 4. That would have been nice. That would have helped actually. Bite, high jump kick. Nothing good. But yeah, like, it gets annoying. That's why you don't read comments and stuff. It's just like people don't. They keep arguing back and forth, and this guy, everybody jumped on him in the end because not that it was a threat or a commenting in favor of or off a thing. It was more like this guy was just being, this person was just being dumb about it, like saying all this crap, saying about the coming over, and it seemed like they only were like bragging how much money they spent and regretted it. And it's like, I don't know why you spend $200 on games like that. It's just like, oh, I'm gonna buy a bunch of games and hope for the best. You know, you kind of you look into it. You don't go blind unless you're doing reviews or something. You know what I mean? You're doing a channel and you're doing reviews, hoping to do that, and or whatever. I'm like, I didn't buy that many games blindly. I made sure they were okay, fun. At least when I go to events and stuff, like the plank one, there's climbing one, older relatives love the map one. I forget what it's called. The one where you go on Google Streets and stuff, Google Earth. They love that because I could take them to their like their hometowns because they're not from here or they were raised somewhere else, so they could visit their hometown, walk around. You know what I mean? They love that. It's like they have a blast going visiting their town without being there. I'll probably do that again. I haven't done it in a while. Father's Day party coming up, so maybe I'll just do that. I'll take the quest, charge it up, have some new stuff prepared. That climb game really gets your arms burning though. That one, it's pretty good. I got part 2 because they said part 2 is like part 1, just, you know, a little bit upgrade. Of course, the part 1 was on for like the earlier systems and then upgraded. Part 2 was scratched from the ground up to like for the new gen stuff. They're pretty decent. I don't think there was a game I regret buying, honestly. They all had their merits. I just wish there was some games that were released for it, like full versions. I think there was one where you call the manor or something. But I think the PC version, it's like 4 stages that you could go to, and on the Oculus one, it's just like the one. You start in the attic of a haunted house and you make your way down while stuff happens around you. It's just on rails kind of thing, but like in hallways, you can get to move around it, but you know, you're restricted to the hallways and whatever doors are open. Cool. But yeah, yeah, they did a showcase for the VR headset things. I'm like, what are you talking about the VR stuff? I'm like, it's fun, it's interesting. I'm like, I wish it will expand on that. Like they'll keep pushing it. I'm like, I'm sure they are with Apple on board. I'm like, because Apple has been on board, we got tap to pay. We lost the tap to transfer because of security reasons. Well, Android still has it, but I think they switched it over to something. You know, everybody, like the joke that was on the thread is like, didn't you know, like Apple invented VR? They're the first ones to do it, and that's how it's gonna be. You know, people are very ignorant on tech news until it's on their platform, I guess. But because of that, it pushes it and it gives a boost to everything else. People are gonna see like, I don't want to spend like that much on that, so they're probably gonna go to the lower price stuff. And then they're like, oh, like, you know, Facebook/Meta does that. I'm sure they'll get the lower price version. And I really doubt they'll have anything amazing. You know what I mean? I'm sure they'll have exclusives and they'll be like, oh, I wish I had that. Like for the PSVR, they have Resident Evil 4, the new one, on VR mode. And I think 7 is still exclusive to the PSVR. They never unlocked it on the Steam version or, you know, the PC version, which kind of sucks. I'm sure there's mods that unlock it, but it's like, why not just unlock it? I'm like, what? It's not gonna hurt you. But I don't know, maybe they have one of those under the table agreements with Sony. You know how Sony is too. The only reason I haven't gotten a PlayStation, honestly, I'm like, I've had my chances, and I'm like, I'm not super against it. I'm like, they have nice exclusives too. It's the ones that are upsetting though is the Spider-Man one. I think that was the one that bothers me. Spider-Man is one of those worldwide things, and it should be available and everything kind of thing. Well, they're like, if we let you do this, we have exclusive rights for this, and that's it. Yeah, sorry, ramble, right? Let's see what else is there. I think so. There was a VR showcase. I haven't seen it. To see what new is. Of course, it's mostly indie titles. I'm like, it still is a lot of indie titles. I mean, it's just independent studios gaming thing that they're doing stuff there. Some are dabbling into it. Like Ubisoft has Assassin's Creed coming for it. It seems like you're just going through point of views, you know, of certain characters. See, you know, be in their shoes kind of thing. I'm sure there's short missions and stuff like that. They're probably just like little flashbacks. And like there was that Medal of Honor. It got mixed reviews because I think the pushback on that was the pricing. It was really expensive. It was like current gen game pricing. And it was like, why? It was like, I'm like, the games don't look that. I'm like, there's a limit on the graphics and visuals on the Oculus, well, on the Meta stuff, because like I said, it's a built-in stuff. It's like mobile chipset in there. So I'm like, it's gonna look as good as a little lower than a mobile phone would be. You know what I mean? Because of the double screen thing, and, you know, the frame rate and all that being double and whatever. Requires more power, so they have to be. I think the ones that are stylized, for example, the Jurassic Park one is stylized like cel shaded. Those look good because it's stylized. But if you try to be like realistic, it's super like current gen. It's not gonna work. It just doesn't work. But you know, they try here and there by changing the styles and stuff, how the games work. You know, those gaming tricks like you'll see in those YouTube videos where the camera only renders whatever the camera is looking and everything else is bare bone, or like behind the scene kind of thing. It's like something like that. It kind of sucked that they had to raise the price on the Quest. It went back to what was it? It was on sale for like 250, 300, and went up to 400 again. But I'm like, it was that price for like a couple of years, like for 2 or 3 years almost, and then they had to raise it. Kind of doesn't make sense. Well, I guess they were like, we're not gonna take the hit, so I'm surprised they were still taking a hit. Being old tech, you know what I mean? It's like you're still losing money on making these. I'm like, the tech's old, they should be cheaper, no? So then with the whole pandemic and stuff raising, like maybe just cancel it and left it like normal. So that maybe just there wasn't a lot of devaluing of it. And then with the GPUs being at a regular price, even lower, I'm like, it's the best time to like kind of get a gaming thing. If you wanna like start low end, I recommend the 3060 Ti. I'm like that. I'm like, that thing was amazing. I got one during the pandemic by being on a wait list. It's just like the jump from the last gen, from those to that one, was like a big jump. Not as much to this year's gen, and not that significant jump, because current stuff requires more RAM memory, and they're still thinking with the old mentality of 8 gigabytes when it's like it should be higher than 12. From what I read, you know, from what I've been seeing, I haven't tested out any new current games and stuff like that. I currently have a 3070 Ti, and the only thing that holds my system back is that I have an old system. I have a 7th gen Intel system, and that's the only thing that slows me down when I play games. So if it's something stutters, because my like the Nvidia thing would say like, oh, you could play that game at ultra like nothing, but when you do it, it doesn't work that well. And it's because of the CPU throttle. You know, it's just limitations on my system. But for example, I've been playing Gotham Knights. Is it called? I haven't played that much, but I played a little. I could play at 60 frames steady with I always forget that you know, the lighting thing. I forget what it's called. Honestly, I haven't been reading a lot about it. And if I disable that, I easily go to like 100 plus. And that's on high, like high to ultra. And then, you know, I lower it down to get the stable 16, I guess. If I put it in middle, I'm sure everything will just boost up. But the only reason I'm even considering if for some reason I get a chance to upgrade, well, first of all, I need to upgrade my system in general. Like, I'll need to get a new computer. But GPU wise, I will only do it because of the streaming codec. The AVI, the AV, whatever. It's pretty much for streaming. It's you could stream like 4K HDR and all that, and it uses significantly lower bandwidth. And it's on YouTube's unlocked it right now. Mine's supposed to be able to use it, but I don't know if they have it locked. I know I could record, like if I want to record stuff on like OBS, I could record it with AV1, I think is what it's called. But it doesn't let me stream with the new AV1. So I don't know, it's exclusive to the 4000 series. So I don't know if it's just a lock thing or what. What else should I rant about? Yeah, so for sure I need to check out that showcase. So I'm like, I've been meaning to buy VR wise at the games I've been meaning to buy. But sometimes I gotta double think because I'm either want it on the standalone inside and prepare myself for the downgrade on the visuals, or get it on PC and just play at home. It's Moss 2. There's also there's Resident Evil 4 on the meta itself. That one I think will get away because it's an old game. So I think they just add the VR thing to it. They changed some stuff obviously to make it work. But that's the one game I'm probably gonna get. It's just like I can't really sit down for a long time and play. Like I said, I'm really cramped in my place right now, and just not comfortable playing VR with long-term games. Like I tried playing that Walking Dead one. I bought it on PC. That game is really fun. Like it's a stylized to semi-cel shading, with that comic skin kind of. It works really well. My system handles it enough. But like I said, this is the CPU thing. But other than that, I'm like, I get good frame rate. It's very responsive. It feels real good playing it. It's just like it actually jump scared me. With VR, the headset's always like a plus. Obviously you want that surround. So with a headset, I was just at the beginning of the game walking around, just looking around, exploring. But it's The Walking Dead. I'm like, there's zombies everywhere, like just scattered, pretending to be dead or something. And then I wasn't paying attention, and then something grabbed me from behind, and I wasn't expecting it, and that just got me like, what the? Start stabbing, like, get away. It's interesting, it's fun, but I can't focus. I'm like, it's just like I feel cramped. I'm paranoid to being cut off, and then like I feel like somebody's talking to me or trying to get my attention, and I don't want to ignore anybody and stuff. So I get a little paranoid. That's why I don't wear my headset either, because then I kept like not hearing things, but I feel like somebody's talking to me or calling for me, and not in a creepy way. My daughter is asleep right now, so I feel like if I have my headset, I don't want to not hear her if she wakes up and needs something, or when my wife's here. It's like, I don't know. I get paranoid. Not that nothing creepy has happened. It has. I have heard stuff before, but it could be out of my head. I don't know. Spooky stuff, I could go all day about talking about them too. I have a lot of crazy stuff about. But right now I'm just talking to myself because there's nobody in the chat and stuff. But maybe when I do get a good like chat going, you know, I have plenty to talk about. Let's see, resistant to everything. Nice. Nothing. Let's kill me. The one thing that reminded me watching this whole like conferences and showcases is that I always was hyped about that Dragon's Dogma. There's Dragon's Dogma, right? I bought it for every console I had. I never played it. I have it, I think, even on the Switch. I think I have it on PC. I have it on Xbox. I never played it. Because I always hear it was really good. I think my brother played a bit of it, or he did play like before. He played early on. Because I know they added, they had the special Arise version that expands on it or something. I never played it, but I hear it's really good, and it's like now part 2 is finally coming out. So like I should just play it. I'm like, it's an old game where it could get away with being on the Switch, so I'm probably just gonna do that. Play on the Switch. There's a couple games like that I buy them and I never play them, and I just keep buying them. I'm like, oh, it came out for this system, I'm gonna buy it. I heard also that they're working on their next Resident Evil remake. They had a poll and everything. I hope it's Code Veronica. And I feel the reason they haven't done it is because, one, Resident Evil 3 is easier. It's a really short game because it used the arcade system back then. And if you know the story about Resident Evil 3, it wasn't really supposed to be the next game. It was just supposed to be a gimmick arcade game, like a side shot. But they had an agreement with Capcom or something about that they had to do their back contract. But the next game that was supposed to be there is Code Veronica, because that one has a super story. You know what I mean? It's like a full game, like a full story. While 3 was long, but it was repetitive. You had to keep going back and forth, like fetch quests, like, oh, go here, okay, come back. You can't go further because this is locked because of this. You keep doing quests until you lock certain things, you know, like, I don't know, handbar or the wheel thing or something that unlocks something, turns on water to turn off a fire, or something to unlock bust the chain off or something. They did delete some stuff on the remake that I was like, wait, they don't have this whole thing over here. Then, cause I know I beat part 3 because I do own it, and I'm like, something's missing. Like something's missing. But those were the short games. Like, it was just a gimmicky game. Like, with that whole